Hey guys, welcome to the video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Sublab. This is a really cool plugin from a new plugin company called Future Audio Workstations. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Sublab XL. This is a really cool bass plugin and I've had it for about a week now and I really enjoy it. But I just kind of want to give a video going over my thoughts, how I like to use this plugin, how it could possibly be better, and just my, opinions on Sublab XL. So without any further ado, let's get into Ableton and get into the video. Kill 'em. So right here you can see I've got Sublab loaded up, and of course I've got it on the macro page because this thing just looks really cool and it sounds awesome. This is a preset that I made called Bit Bass. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously if you're watching this without headphones on, you're gonna miss out on this whole sub part of Sublab. But you can see I can mess around with these macros. Which I have designed and give our bass a bit of a different character. But if we go into the synth tab, this is where everything is actually set up for your control. And they have this really excellent system of visual feedback. I especially like the big EQ with visualization up here and the limiter that shows you how much gain reduction you're getting. There's just a lot of nice visual feedback here. So I'm not going to go super in-depth into the interface. Basically, you've got one synth oscillator. You can load samples and edit them in this basic sampler. And you've got this X sub, which is pretty cool. It basically just plays a couple of sine waves and it keeps them in the lowest possible octave. So depending on where you play on your keyboard, it'll always be the lowest octave, which is interesting. Then you've got a couple of envelopes that are automatically mapped to certain things. So we've got this main volume envelope that is going to control your sound. And then you've got this effects section, and you've only actually got 5 effects, and this is more than the previous version of Sublab. I think the previous version only had distortion and a compressor. So now you have 5 effects and you can put them in whatever order you want, and you can load, I think it looks like you can only actually load 4 at a time, but that's pretty cool. So you have, a bigger option of effects and stuff you can do. You've got your mixer down here. You can turn on and off the 3 sections and turn them up and down. And then you've got your master EQ, which is really nice. You just get a high shelf and a low shelf, which is cool. You've got a stereo widening function right here. This will bring down a limiter, which is one of my favorite things about this plugin, which I'll get into in a minute. Basically what this is a very stripped down synthesizer that is focused entirely on making bass and sub 808's. A lot of people who are more into sound design might be thinking, like, why would I get this when I can get Serum, which can do a million things more? Why would I want this? And the reason that I've sort of started to really like this plugin is with any plugin like this that's focused on doing one thing, you're paying for the workflow and you're paying to be able to do that one thing really quickly. And I think Sublab does a great job of that. Like I said, with these limited effects, right? Like sometimes when I'm working on a sound in Serum, for example, or just designing a sound from scratch in Ableton, I will spend so much time resampling and adding different effects and trying things out. If you only have 5 effects, you're going to use those 5 effects and you're going to have to find ways to use the same effects really well. The other thing is, like, you're not going to be layering tons of sounds because you only have this one synth oscillator and one sample that you can load in. So you really are limited with how much you can stack on top of each other. And again, I think that forces you to be very creative when designing sounds. I think one of the best parts of this plugin for me is this little resampling function in the top left. Basically, you click on this and it will automatically detect when you play a note and record it until it goes to 0 decibels. So check this out. Immediately, I have a rendered out file of my 808, and let me drag it down here. And it labels it with the name of your patch and your note that you're playing. So let me solo that out and listen to it. I mean, that's awesome. That's so fast, and I just immediately have an 808 that I can use. And I've done this and I've made a whole pack of 808s actually that I'm going to be giving out to 5 people in the comments. So leave a comment down below if you want to pick up a copy of this 808 pack. It's got a ton of super cool 808s that I've made in Sublab. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, leaving a thumbs up and all that stuff, and this is my way of giving back. The other best part of this plugin, in my opinion, is that the company behind it is actually directly working with people who are using the plugin to improve it. And what I mean by that is if you go onto their website, they actually have a dedicated forum. If we go down here, join the FAW community forum. And what they've done is basically made their own forum for people to leave, feedback and comments about their different plugins. And they are actually directly responding and, working on improvements. And so when I got this plugin, I found out about this and I left a comment right here. I said I recently purchased Sublab and I really like it a lot. I like the feature to be able to resample your own 808s super quickly within the plugin. That's awesome. Only problem is it only records in mono, and that was a problem I was having because there's like a stereo width within the plugin, and you can use the super saw, which is really wide, and when you use that recording feature, it records everything in mono. And so I said that to him, and within 2 days he responded and was like, appreciate the feedback, and we'll look at the recording and try and fix it as soon as we can. So I will leave a pinned comment down below if they do wind up fixing that, because I think this is great that we have, a new plugin company that is directly working with users. I don't think this is ever something I've seen before. I think this is a great way to run a business, and I think that this is a great reason to get the plugin, just because that they are going to be continuing to work on it and make changes and improvements over time. I think they said they were going to try and update it in like 3 weeks, so I will let you know, and if they make those improvements, that will be super cool. So all that being said, I've talked a ton about this plugin. Let's go ahead and pull in a new instance of Sublab, and I'm just going to pull in a sample and get a quick drum pattern down. For an example, I'm going to go ahead and grab a Cymatics sample. And actually, I know I said I wanted to do something quick, but I really want to chop up this sample in simpler. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. Yeah. Yeah, I remember waking up down there. I was always coming out that way. Let's get a percussion loop. Check this out. Putting frequency shifter on drum loops will give them this really cool sound. I'll fix the pitch based on what we decide with the 808, which it's now time for the 808. So okay, let's go ahead and initialize a patch. So we're just gonna make new preset, and it starts off as a sine wave. Let's turn down the octave. There we go. And I'm hearing like kind of a subtle 808 on this. Like real kind of gritty, but like very dark. And one of the best of the effects in here, so when you don't have any effects, I like this. It just gives you the options right there. Let's go ahead and grab a distortion, and there are actually 6 different types of distortion to choose from, and they all do very different things. I was honestly kind of impressed with the various selections in here. I really like this dark drive for these kind of like low gritty sounds. It's very subtle. It doesn't add too much. I'm gonna put it on 100% here on the synth. Just adds like a little bit of nice harmonics. We can see those coming up. Nice, and like, it hits kind of hard. Oh, it's very like clean, and that's what I like about this. Go ahead and one more. Let's add a wave shaper for a bit of texture. It does this very weird sound, but if you take out some of the lows, you can kind of control it a bit better. This tape module is really cool because if you actually set it to like 50%, it does a couple of things. But one of the things it does is if you set it to 50, it actually slightly delays the affected signal. So you can get like this kind of like double hit that a lot of modern 808s like the Zay 808 have, kind of like that delay at the start. You can hear how it sort of like hits twice with this on. And it doesn't work if you have it on 0 or 100, it'll only do it once. But if you have it on like 50 or like 40, you get this like double hit, which I think is really nice. That's pretty good. So there we go. That was like a couple of minutes and we've got a nice 808 sound ready to use. Oh yeah. I've been feeling crossing weeks I given like I wasn't. I've been feeling wishing flying I can't give it up, yeah. I've been waiting, I've been giving hard but then I'm in the basement, yeah. I can never taste it, I can never make it, I can never give it up, I'll be done. Woo! Alright, that is gonna do it for me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I really appreciate you guys coming through and watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Kill